It was a run by fruiting. I'm not reviewing Mrs. Doubtfire, I'm just high. What I am reviewing is I needed a little levity in between these 28 days, weeks, years later. Need a little bit of laughter. So before I go deeper in the weeds on that horrific series, I need to plug in with the movie Friday. Now, this was a movie, I may have watched this movie, this is in my top 5 of movies I've watched over and over. I've probably watched this movie a dozen times in my life at least. Shadow, you seriously gotta go out right now? Right now. You need outside? Let's try pausing this and turn it back on. Okay, we'll see how that goes. I'm not editing it. I don't care. She needed to go outside, so. Friday. Like I was saying, I've probably watched this movie 20 times. And that is a lot of times for me. The last time I watched it, I was in my 20s, so it's been 20 years anyway. Now, right away, this takes me right back to my youth. The movie starts, and I'm immediately like, oh yeah, it's funky. It's got that like, trying to find a better way. Trying to find a better way. And that shit is, it's just like, you see the early morning pavement, like right before it starts to get hot. If you've been on a hot street, you know it gets that like, the look of like a mirage. That reminds me of my youth. I remember this movie when I was young. It seemed like it was a huge adventure. But it's actually contained to a very tight knit area. And they never really leave the hood. You know what I mean? They're just chilling in the hood. And the hood is a couple blocks that they live on, you know. So it's all within the space of a couple blocks. I just remember so many things happening. It seemed like they were everywhere. And that is inaccurate. There is a lot happening. But it's for the most part just like basic stuff. And so it is not like a great grand adventure. I mean, this came out in 95, so I was 16 when it came out. I remember watching it and just thinking like, I don't know, it felt bigger than it was. Because I remember this movie was on like a grand scale to me. Tiny Zeus Lister is awesome in this thing. Obviously, he's pretty much awesome in everything that you ever see him in. That's just the way he is. I didn't really like Smokey. And that's weird to me because as a kid, I would say Smokey was my favorite character. Like, straight up, I thought he was the funniest, and I thought that his character was the coolest. And that's definitely not accurate to this time watching it. Pops was the one. And I did always like Pops, you know what I mean? Clarence Witherspoon was a staple to these movies. And as I watched it this time, I realized he was truly the most important character in the whole thing, which was awesome. It's also a smarter movie than I recall it being. Not that I thought it was a dumb movie when I was a kid, but I felt like it was just a stoner movie. And it's certainly less a stoner movie than a father-son movie. He's really trying to get through to his kid. And I think the whole central point of this film can be summed up in those moments where, in the moment where he said to his kid, you can live to fight another day. Because at that time, violence, wow, Shadow. Just slam on the door, don't bark or anything. I'll be back. she's crazy. And she came back. Okay, yep, cool. Just, push that out the way. No reason you can't get that done in this world, huh? Yeah, you're a good dog. Yeah, you're a good dog, even if you're a little bit annoying. So, yeah, you live to fight another day. You might take an ass whooping. And this isn't just about fighting, man. It's really not. When he has that speech in this movie, you realize that during that speech, he's talking about his son walking out the door with a gun. But when you think about the point of the movie between getting yourself a job, getting into the workforce, becoming smarter about your drug use or whatever, there's various points of the film that point towards a better way. And the fact is, that applies to all aspects of life. If you are living the wrong way, if you are working the wrong way, if you are treating your spouse the wrong way, if you are just anything, headed down a bad path, if you are violent to other people who do not deserve your violence, there is a better way. You can do better. You can be better than what you purport to be. Everyone can. And it behooves you to do that. So, ultimately, yeah, I found this movie was just a smarter film than I had remembered it being. And I don't know. Yeah, I gotcha. So, this is a smarter movie than I ever thought it was, which makes me actually like it more than I did when I was a kid. And I always liked this movie. I always thought it was a cool movie. I just, I just remember it really differently. That's the first movie I've watched where my viewing experience as an adult is way different than my viewing experience when I was a teenager. Way different. And unlike any movie that I've seen so far, it's almost startling. And I enjoyed it on both ends because it is a good film. It's well done. Um, I think I'll say this again. This was when Ice Cube was trying harder. He ultimately devolved into just playing whatever angry old police chief type of dude. I don't know. I feel like at this time he was trying harder. There'll be a few films on my nostalgia that had Ice Cube in them where, you know, I thought he was awesome. Like Boys in the Hood and stuff like that. We'll be going down these avenues as we go, but this movie was awesome. It was fun. It was funny. Obviously, it's got a million lines. I still say it to this day. Walk into my boss and be like, my neck and my back. I'll settle it out of court right now for $20 and a 40. There's a lot of them. Just, that's my bike, punk. Or, um, I was bullshitting and you know this. Man. There's just so many. Red was funny. All the characters. Felicia was funny. Ezell was funny. Just the whole cast worked perfect for this small set contained film. Obviously, it didn't need special effects, so there was no weird 90s CGI stuff in it. I appreciated that. It might make me draw into the comedy well a little bit more and more as time goes by because I really did appreciate that aspect of it. Some of that 90s first CGI stuff was pretty wonky at the best. I watched an 80s one the other day and it was crazy. So Friday, love the soundtrack. Every fucking song that came on was awesome. anything that just brings you back to the early part of your days in the world will always remind you of certain things. Being reminded of certain things from when you were young and life was less stressful. And yeah, when this movie came out, I hadn't quite reached bills. I was close. I was getting really close, but I hadn't quite reached bills, Hadn't quite reached like living on my own and all these things. So there's still that end of my innocence that I can recall from watching this film. So I'll give this thing a shit. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. This is a good movie, man. If you have never seen this film, I urge you to watch it. As a parent, I realized that the stoner stuff was really secondary to it, so you could enjoy yourself with this even if you're not a stoner. It's not really that much of a stoner movie, even though I remembered it being like that when I was a kid. So, 9.5 on Friday. Watch this thing. I mean, obviously, you can't really watch it with your kids. There's too much in there. There's too much going on. You could watch it with your kids when they're older, but not. I couldn't watch it with Afton. That's too much. Shadow, you want to say goodbye? Oh, you're sleeping. She's sleeping. Oh, there you are. Say hi, I love you. Say I love you. Say I'm black. I could have been in the cast. Have a good day.